I know we hooked up at FitCon.
Yeah.
And, the name of the podcast is Not Dead Yet.
Okay.
And, for me...
Describes me perfectly.
Right. For me, there was... my brushes with death have always created the most change in me. Perspective shifts, everything else, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess that's what I'm really curious about with you.
Okay.
Because, we've been through a couple different versions of it, right?
Yeah,
and so
for sure.
2001, you kind of get, congestive heart failure type stuff. And then 2004, you lost your mom.
Yep.
And then you end up...
2005, a year later, with my first open heart surgery.
And then finally getting the heart in 15.
Yeah.
So,
In 18. Yeah.
When was your first, real moment of, oh, shit, I might not make this?
Okay, that's a very good question. And I think I only had one of those moments. And all the way, I've never had, when they first told me, when my doctor first comes in and tell me you have your aortic valve is gone. Mm-hmm. And the slightest strain or too much strain, I was getting ready to compete in my last contest, and he tells me that, that much strain on your heart that you have to put out to lift that much weight could, cause the valve to break right there on stage, and all those people gonna see you die. And he looks at me in the eyeballs, like I'm supposed to get fucking scared or something. I said, hey, I can't think of a better fucking way to go, Doc, than doing
something you love.
Yeah, man, right there on stage, in front of all those people. If I had to write a scenario or a script of how I wanted to end my life, that would have been it, man, right there. I'm like, hey, Doc, you just described the fucking best scenario I could think of to go out. That's the hell yeah. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy.
I'm sure.
I'm looking at him like he's crazy because he thought I was going to get all petrified and stuff. But, man, I never expected to live a long life.
Right.
So from the gate, I expected always to go up in a big blaze of glory. Just that's from a little kid. From a little kid, I expected to be that satellite that shot real high and burned out real early.
And is that just from, I can't imagine the difference in environment you grew up around compared to me, 1983 in Louisiana with my parents, right?
Yeah.
And so, that environment of growing up out here, Compton and everything else during, 1965?
Yeah.
What a wild world that is.
Oh, yeah. In 64, Watts riots, we were living in Watts at the time. We would call ourselves moving upscale when we moved to Compton. We were moving, like the Jefferson.
Sure.
So, but Watts at that time was, the hellhole, the fucking, nobody, avoid Watts like the plague. And nobody wants to go there, but that's where we were living at the time, is in Watts. And that's what I grew up with. My earliest memories was the Watts riot.
Oh, wow.
Of growing up. I was 5 at the time. But I remember, like it was yesterday, because, we got army tanks on the street, soldiers walking up and down with the M16s. And I remember very vividly, my dad was a preacher. We on our way to church, because my dad don't give a damn what's going on, World War VIII, whatever the fuck.
Sure.
We going to church. So we loaded up the 66 Buick, Deuce and a quarter, we in the back seat. Mom's here, we on our way to church, man. Fucking tanks are everywhere. And the guard pulls us over. So where you going? Dad said, I'm going to church. And I'm in the back seat. I'm only 5, but I'm thinking to myself, why in the fuck can you leave us at home, man?
Yeah, right.
You can go to church by yourself. Why you have to take us out here? And so that's the earliest environmental impact of my surroundings that I can recall.
Well, shit, and then you're also out here for the riots in 98,
most
right?
Definitely.
That's Rodney King and all that.
Yes, most definitely, yeah.
What a crazy change in climate that must be.
Yeah, man, I was at a Laker basketball game at the time, and they told us over the PA system, hey, be careful, it's crazy out there.
Over the PA system, they just said, be careful, everyone.
There's some shit going on out in the streets, man. We go out there and people are fucking going crazy, and I don't know, whoa, what the fuck? You know?
I mean, how does that feel in the neighborhood? Like, is neighborhoods unsafe at that point, or is the neighborhood still pretty community?
Compton, because that's where I was living at the time, I had probably never seen it more, and this is crazy to say, but more unified.
I'm sure, because that's why I'm asking, because you see weird things happen like
I know
that.
people not probably won't understand it, but living in Compton at that time. Now, what happened to him was in LA, but Compton, LA neighbors. It was so unified that like I said, I don't think I've ever seen the city more unified around one cause. And, you know, it was, you know, no justice, no peace, man. And that was the theme song, but I had to go outside the community to buy groceries. And because all our shit was burnt down, you know what I mean?
Right.
We had to go outside, and we stand these long ass fucking lines because everybody from Compton was going to other cities, you know, to buy the groceries. And I could hear people in the line saying, you know, they burnt their shit down. So, they burnt their shit. That's why they're here. You know, they did this, they did. So it was a time I'm like, yeah, we burnt the shit down. I'm like, yeah, we burnt the shit down because the shit ain't ours any fucking way. You know what I mean?
So with the Watts riots, I don't know my history well enough. What was the initiating event?
The catalyst. Well, the story was that there was a pregnant lady that an altercation happened. You know, she's pulled over, and the policeman struck her, and that's. You know, what? You struck a pregnant lady? You know, any extenuating circumstances, most people didn't get. You know, they don't know exactly what happened, but that's what triggered it, the event with the police and this pregnant woman. What's going on, young fella? How you doing, young man?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All good.
He's my protege assistant.
How are you? Okay.
Sorry for jumping in. I thought I said 1 o'clock. And
yeah, you know, it was, but we got here a little bit early. That's the shirt right there for you, young fella.
Thanks.
Good shirt.
Can we watch?
Yeah, sure.
It's a little different, man. I haven't quite sprung it. It's not on the market, but it's coming out there.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I get some footage of him for?
Good, man. All good. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Now, was this a black woman, white cop?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, shit. And then again, during COVID, right? Like, so, I mean, you've been through at least 3 waves of this.
Yeah, man.
I mean, how does that feel just seeing history repeat itself? Like, I mean, what progress does there feel like versus we're back at this again?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen waves, like that's a very good description. Waves come, waves go. And then just when you think maybe that there is, because even by my own standards, progress has been made. But if you look at it through, it depends on whose eyes you're looking at through, how much progress has been made. Are we still doing this? Are we still shooting unarmed black folks? Are we still pulling black folks over because you fit the description? Now I'm 64 years old, I've been pulled over. I cannot tell you how many times. And the explanation for my being pulled over was always because I fit the description. And I'm like, what the fuck was the description, man? Because, you know, I got pulled over when I was 320 pounds. You know, and I'm like, well, what the fuck was the description? What was the
black guy.
Yeah,
right.
That's it. That's all it had to be. So, and the first time that happened to me, I was a kid in school. I'm walking home from school, junior high school, which, man, what do they call junior high school now? You know, I was like
middle school, yeah.
Yeah, 9th grade. Back then it was junior high school. I walked home from junior high school. Summertime. All I got on is a pair of swimming trunks. Just a pair of swimming trunks. Walk down the street with a pair of swimming trunks. 9 police cars. 9. Pull over. They all like this. They all drawn like this. Don't fucking move. Don't you budge a fucking muscle. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I wasn't about to move.
No, I guess not.
Got these fucking rifles on me. Why would I move? So I was standing there and I'm like, I'm thinking this can't be real. Because what the fuck could I possibly do?
Right.
I obviously don't have a weapon. Only thing I got was a pair of swimming trunks. So I don't have any place to even hide a weapon. And all these guys, it's 2 to a car. So 9 cars, 18 policemen. 1 woman, 17 dudes, 1 lady. The one person who searched me was the lady. And I'm a kid now. I'm a 9th grade. I'm a kid. All these guys standing around, and all I got on is some swimming trunks. So
you got a bazooka somewhere?
Yeah, I you see a pat down and grab my dick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Yeah, I got swim trunks on. It's the only weapon on me.
I said, lady, that's me. You know what I mean? And so I said, they made me sit on the curb, of course, and until they call in and find out, that the description is, the only part of the description I fit was black.
Yeah.
I'm black. The guy who did whatever he supposedly did was black. So naturally, I'm guilty. So that was the first incident of, because you fit the description, that, and over the course, I haven't had it, and, it's probably been at least 10 years now. But from 16 to 50, stop. Only reason they had to give was you fit the description.
Come on. Growing up in Louisiana, I'll be shocked if they ever recreationalize marijuana.
Yeah.
Because with the way the law is in Louisiana, it's always been the ability for a cop to say, I smell weed, we can search the car. And then they seize fucking anything.
Yeah.
And I always felt that was a very easy excuse for local police to stop any black person they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And then get a warrant.
Oh, for sure.
And, I mean, I saw that growing up. And, I didn't grow up in a town with a ton of diversity. And even then, feeling it. And New Orleans has its own vibe, too.
Oh, yeah.
There was a period of time where law in New Orleans, it was something called like misdemeanor murder.
Damn.
And so the deal is if you arrested someone for murder, you had to have 2 eyewitness testimonies.
It's saying they seen this motherfucker
to get off.
Yeah.
To get off. Not to get off. 2 eyewitness testimonies to go to trial.
Okay.
And so the way that it looked from my perspective was, if one person snitches, we won't go to trial. And then that person gets out in 90 days on the murder. And so then they go after the snitch.
Oh, wow.
Or if 2 show up, that person goes to jail. So either way, I thought the police department was perpetually just trying to eliminate a problem within itself.
Yeah.
And what a crazy thing we've done.
That's crazy. I've heard even crazier stories that are absolutely 100% true from ex-gang member. He told me that he was locked up at the time, in jail, in custody. And they told him that, they didn't just tell him, they actually did this. They let him out free. You're free. And he had some serious charges just so he could take care of another gang member. We know you guys got beef, so you can walk out the door, but we want you to get this guy.
That's crazy.
That sounds like movie shit.
That's movie
but that
shit.
really happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Switching gears. So you joined the military.
Yep.
And then you end up in Germany.
Yep.
So coming from Compton to Germany in the 70s, what was the climate like there? What was the vibe there showing up?
In Germany?
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It was one of my favorite 3-year period time spans in my life. I mean, it was absolutely wonderful. Because I told my recruiter, he said, okay, where would you like to go? And I have no idea what the fuck he asked me that for, because it didn't make any difference to what I said.
Sure, right.
But I didn't know.
As if, right?
So he said, where would you like to go? I said, look, I don't care. Any of the 50 states, fine. But I don't want to go overseas. I don't want to, because I didn't want to travel over water that far in an airplane.
Sure, yeah.
I'm thinking, oh man, this motherfucker. I'd only been on a plane maybe once before. And I'm thinking, that's a long ways to go over, in a fucking airplane, man. This son of a bitch might come. So I was petrified of going that far. He says, okay, no problem. I sign up, get my papers as soon as the guy says, okay, we're going to give you, where you're going to be going. And he says, Germany. And I go, nah, man, you make there's some kind of mistake, because my recruiter, as soon as I said my recruiter, he started busting up. He was cracking up. He said, you believe a recruiter?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no, I didn't know that better. Yeah, I did believe it. Went straight to Germany, spent 3 years, and it was wonderful.
And so that's your first experience outside of the U.S.?
Yes.
I mean, is that wildly eye-opening for you to see the world
yes,
in a different view?
I think it is for anybody that hasn't traveled outside the U.S. You have one version that you may see on Fox News or CNN, and it ain't what you think it is.
No.
You actually go there, meet the people, associate with the people, mingle with the people, and it's fucking, vastly different than what's reported on your local news station.
I'm trying to, context too of like timeline, right? So you growing up in the 60s, I mean, you're only 20 years post World War II.
Yeah.
And so like the vibe for Germany at that time, this isn't like a friendly place people are trying to go live.
Absolutely.
And so I'm sure that that's your own thoughts of what Germany's going to be.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
right?
I'm thinking, oh man, Germany, oh fuck, this is going to be, And then I had heard they were especially not fond of black GIs. Now that was the rumor before I got there. But once I got there, those rumors were dispelled. I lived off base, had a German landlord, and she was great. She was fantastic. So I had no bad experience in Germany whatsoever.
Did you ever go back after?
No.
Never.
I want to. Oh, yeah. I've been back since I've been this social media shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been back over there since then.
Crazy how that works. Huh?
Yeah. Social media is a motherfucker.
Is a motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck?
So then you come back to the States and you work at post office.
Yep.
When did the social media start taking off?
Oh, man. 2012, I think, was the beginning of social media.
Was there like a moment that something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I work at the post office. I have the heart problems. Use up all my sick leave at the post office. And eventually the post office retires me, total medical disability.
Sure.
Total medical disability. Lasted 11 months. After 11 months, they said, fuck you. You're...
No pension.
We're no longer going to pay your ass until you turn 63.
Oh.
If you live to be 63, then we're going to send you
So you back in the money.
Hey, I made it. I fooled them. I made it. I fucking made it. But not back in the money. But I fucking made it. If you want to call $429 a month back in the money, then yes, I'm back in the money.
At one point in my life, I'd have been very happy with
Yeah, big time. You're right.
So,
but it was a long time ago.
Sure.
And now I'm like,
Thanks.
28 years, $429 a month. But it was so after they kicked me off, because I thought that was going to be my life for the rest of my life, was a retired postal worker. And I was happy with that, because I was getting like 3/4 of my pay.
Yeah.
And me and my youngest son, bought a house in Compton, living in Compton. I had never had a problem living in Compton, so we were doing great. I had a Barracuda in the driveway and a Chevelle. I'm cool. Got my own cars, my house, everything's wonderful. Life is, and all of a sudden, get the letter. Sorry, we're not gonna pay you anymore. So I was like, what the fuck? The only thing I know how to do is lift weights.
Yeah.
Lost the house, lost car, lost every
foreclosed.
fucking thing. Yeah, oh yeah, man. Lost every fucking thing. Stuff you could not. I started from less than the bottom.
And this is just you and Samson.
Just me and Samson. And I got this, I scraped enough money together to get a 68 Chevy pickup truck with a fucking hole in the floor this goddamn big. And we was riding down the street looking through that hole in the floor, heat coming up through there. It was hot all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Got to let the windows down just to we sweating in that some bitches and hoping that we get back from wherever we're going to. But that's how I started. And I found I took all my world champion certificates and trophies and shit around the different gyms. I said, well, I know how to lift weights. I'm going to go to these gyms. And them kicking me off, paying me, kicking me out of retirement was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It's crazy to say that, right? But how many times you hear those stories of that's a make or break moment in life?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm like, whoa, that was one of them woe is me moments. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Because I wasn't feeling my best. I said, I better start lifting weights again because I was content. You know, just, dabble, lift every now and then when I came back.
Sure.
I had to go back at it full force when I had no other alternative and start looking around for gyms that would accept somebody because all the other gyms were like, world champions, so what? Are you certified? Are you certified? Are you certified for this pro? Are you certified for... I said, no, I'm not fucking certified. I'm a world champion, man. What do you mean it's certified? He goes, no, I'm sorry. You can't be a trainer because you're not certified. I go, what the fuck? Finally find an old school gym, Metroflex in Long Beach. And they say, oh, yeah, you CT Fletcher, man. We remember seeing you in the match a long time ago. Yes. And they go, hey, fuck the certificate.
We're good to go.
Yeah, you can train here. And that started it. Guy comes in named Arash Babu. And he says he was, he comes in, he says, hey, you want to be on YouTube? I go, what the fuck is YouTube? He says, I'm the owner of Strength Project. We're going to take a video you can be on YouTube. And I go, well, can I say whatever I want to say? Because I was filmed once before many years ago, but I was censored big time.
Oh, God.
They're like, no, cuss. Oh, my God, no, you can't cuss. No,
This ain't going to work.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man, well, shit, I don't know if I can talk without cussing. But I'll try. So I was censored big time. I asked Arash, can I say whatever I want to say? So you say whatever you want to say. I said, cool, roll them. And as soon as I said, the first thing I told him was, look, I don't give a fuck if you watch me or not. I didn't know you could make any money or anything like that.
Well, at that point, nobody was.
Yeah, I didn't give a damn. I said, look, if you don't like what I'm saying, turn this motherfucker off. That's all you got to do. I said, turn the channel off like they was looking at TV and shit. And I'm like, just don't watch it. I don't give a fucking... Lo and behold, I thought, we might get 1 view or 2 views. He calls me up in a couple of days and says, you viral, CT. What the fuck is viral? I didn't even know what viral was.
Right.
He goes, you're fucking viral, man. I'm from dial-up phone age, the fucking receiver and shit long. You go in the other room, you want to talk, you had to have a long fucking extension cord on your phone. You wasn't under this cell phone shit when I was a kid.
So what's the timeline between the post office cuts you off and this video happens?
11, they cut me off in 2011. Latter part of 2012 was when the video
It's almost
happened.
2 years.
Yeah. And I was fucking boom. And my daughter took me in and she had a 2-bedroom apartment, my daughter Cherie. And she had 2 kids. So the 2 kids were staying in one room, she was staying in the other. She took her 2 kids, put them in the room with her, and gave me the other bedroom.
How is that on the ego as a strong guy, as a world champion, as a guy who spent 30 years working at the post office?
30 years working at the post office, 3 years in the military, and have worked a job since I was 11 years old. A job. I started paper route, gas station, you name it, waxing floors, fucking busting tables at restaurants. Always work. And to come from that to not being able to work, and then ask my kids for handouts. I hadn't thankfully I didn't have to ask her. She volunteered, but because I would not have.
Sure,
asked.
of course.
To stay in my kid's bedroom. Talk about a fall from grace, man. I was all the way down to the bottom. Yeah.
I mean, but that rebuild, right? Was there, confidence that comes with it ain't never going to be worse than this. We're all right.
Yeah, it's no place else to go but up, on the rock bottom. So you have no choice. I told Samson when I was reading the letter, and I told him, I don't know how, I don't know what, but we're going to fucking be all right. We're going to come, because one thing I never lost is faith.
Sure.
I lost everything else. I felt like Job, man. I lost all my material possessions. Everything was gone, but I still had my faith.
Well, you can always get more shit.
That's it. That's it. Sometimes you may not see how, because I damn sure didn't see how, but as long as you keep that faith.
So 2012, this video pops off.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to figure out how to monetize from whatever that attention is?
Okay.
Because it's not clear then.
Yeah, no, absolutely not clear. But Arash knew because he had Strength Project, his own channel already, and it was big. And he knew about the monetization. He said, "Look, CT, you can make money from this." Because when the video went viral, he said, "You can make money from this." And that's when I found out. Arash taught me, everything I knew about social media and YouTube. I learned from Arash, and he told me how to make money. And then merchandise came, and then later on supplements and stuff, and traveling all over the fucking place. It was unbelievable. I still don't believe it.
No, same boat.
Yeah,
I can't believe any of this shit works.
Yeah.
So that begins, right? And I guess what I'm thinking of, right, is you stop competing.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a bit of a death there.
Mm-hmm.
That this part of you that's this big thing, this world champion, and where now all you have is I did this thing.
Yeah. That's it.
And then can't get hired, can't find work.
Yep.
But a shift happens to where now you're inspiring others to do stuff instead of focused on your progress.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
How did you embrace that? Or when did you realize oh shit, I got something?
That is still unbelievable to me. And I never expected to be an inspiration to anybody.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't do nothing. What? Okay, you flatlined 3 times during your surgery. Okay. I didn't control that shit.
Nope. You were asleep anyway.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with that. So I'm thinking, they're thinking, oh, wow, you died 3 times. Wow. Now look, folks, this was completely out of my control.
Right. Now, the death of the ego that comes from that having to move in with your daughters are way different.
Oh, yes.
Not being able to compete anymore.
Yep, absolutely.
Those are way different deaths.
Absolutely.
Than, you're under anesthesia.
Yeah, and it's just, I felt like a rag flapping in the wind. Everything's totally out of my control. And then people ask, how did you deal with that mentally? How could it not wreck you mentally? Once you realize that it is totally out of your control and you have no say, so worrying is not going to do any fucking good.
Really good, does it?
No matter how much worrying you do, it's not going to change shit. It's not going to change the outcome one iota. So worrying is a waste of time. And they would come, no matter what the doctor would tell me, how bad or bleak he would put it in, not phased. Because the only thought in my mind is, it ain't up to me. Mm-hmm. It's not up to me, man. You talk to him. Right. He's the one in control. He's going to decide whether I see you after the operation. I got total faith in him. Either way, if I don't make it, I ain't gonna know nothing about it anyway.
Right, the lights are off. That's for you guys to deal with.
Gabriel blows his horn. I'm not gonna know anything about it anyway, man. So, I'm not worried. It's absolutely no fear of death whatsoever. Especially after I had vivid. I don't know what you want to call it, but dreams, visions, or whatever, during the 3 flat lines during the surgery.
Okay, so you had dreams during surgery.
Vivid,
See, I had 9 surgeries on my knee, so I got put out a bunch.
Yeah,
a 3-year time period, but I don't remember any dreams.
Yeah.
During it at all.
Yeah, it's this is a flat line. The period when you're out is. If people, I cannot, you have a dream, sometimes you have dreams that are very vivid. And you're like, oh, wow, I really felt like I was there. In comparison to being dead, that is a fuzzy picture, man. The clarification is amplified 10 million times. You know that this is not sleep.
Really?
You absolutely know that this is not sleep. I am not asleep. I didn't just doze off. the finality of it is overpowering. It's so, you know that this is not a sleep, I'm not a rest, this is death.
I'm gone.
Yeah, there's absolutely no question about it. There's no comparison. And coming back, waking up from that, there's absolutely no comparison. It's like this was the best, the rest, the peacefulness, the serenity of this death is unparalleled. Unparalleled. Nothing can touch it. And that's not just me. You ask anybody that's been there. Anybody that's flatlined.
Sure.
Or had spending time on a little bit of time on the other side, they'll tell you the same thing. There's no comparison in the serenity and the peace. And, you know, it is, I like being alive. I love being alive. I love being around my grandkids, my kids, my friends. I love all that. But I don't fear death because it was beautiful.
Oh man, that's really interesting. Now, what do you equate, I guess, that serenity to?
The presence of God is the only thing that I can think of that would make that. I knew that, you know, when I tell you I've seen vision, whatever you want to call people, at this time, the first time, 2014, 15, when I had my first open heart surgery, I could see my mother, because she passed away the year before and we were extremely close, crying, pleading. She was crying and she was pleading. Never seen her face, but I 100% knew it was my mother.
Sure.
And I never seen who she was crying or pleading to. Just super bright light, and I knew who that was.
Right.
I knew who my mom was, and I knew who she was crying and pleading for. And she was begging for a little more time from me. And I'm thinking that the reason why she had to do that, because I hadn't done anything to merit extra time at the time. I had no grounds to plead my own case. But this woman had lived an exemplary life. And the reason why I'm not religious today, okay, my dad was a preacher. Mm-hmm. My mom, you know, is religious as possible. But I'm not religious because I grew up around religious people. Yeah. I grew up, you know, deep in religion as you
if your father's a pastor and you own a church.
Yeah. So I got to see religious people my whole life, super religious, in church every Sunday, you know, falling over, turning over benches, and I get to see how they act Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday. And that is what extremely turned me off from religion. You
know, the older I've gotten, I probably in my 20s would have been very confident to say I was atheist. And that's changed throughout the years. I don't know exactly what it is I believe in. I don't think any of the major books we've got on the planet have it exactly right. They're written by us.
Right.
But there's,
by man.
Of course. And
so
religion,
is religion by man.
I like spirituality.
Yes.
And I like dealing with all that. And I think on the scale, right, then that means if business is over here and spirituality's in the middle, religion's on the other end. You know, they're somewhere on the same scale. And once you mix spirituality with business, that's where religion comes in. And it's you got to have customers.
Absolutely.
To run that business.
Yep. That's the way they're doing it now. Yeah, the way they've been doing it. I mean, that's disgusting. But the most disgusting part about it to me is the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
The living one way in the eye of the public and another way at home behind closed doors. That's the thing that really rubs me the wrong way.
But that tells you everything you need to know about a person, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Fuck whatever you tell me is important. Your actions are what tell me is important to you.
That's it.
That's the standard you hold.
That's it.
And if you're telling me one thing on Saturday and 6 other days of the week, you're full of shit. You're full of shit.
Absolutely.
Saturday's the break.
Yep. I used to go to church on Sundays in Germany. They had a church on place. I go to church on Sunday and I look over at one of the guys or something sitting next to me. And that Saturday night before Sunday church, me and this guy is on the dance floor, man. We doing, he doing the same shit. And whooping it up. And then, we go to church and all of a sudden he's a different person. And I'm just here because out of tradition. This
is what you do on Sundays.
That's what I do on Sundays. But, I stopped. I stopped after that. I'm like, if I'm going to be doing this on Saturday, and then going to church on Sunday ain't going to suddenly erase what I did on Saturday.
Yeah, unless you're interested in stopping doing what you're doing on Saturday.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't see any problem with that.
No, absolutely. I'm like, nah, not going to pretend, man.
So after all the years of chasing world championships and setting records, right, like one of the greatest parts about strength training and meeting other people who've done it and been in the life is like there's no way to fake it.
Nope.
Part of the magic of social media and anything is people can explode at any moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But strong takes fucking a decade.
Yeah.
Like there's no way around it. Like there's some part that if we both know we've benched 500 pounds, you didn't accidentally get there.
Nope.
You're a lunatic for a really long time about a thing that no one else loves, right?
Obsessed, yeah.
So after you couldn't compete anymore, were you able to focus that energy toward becoming CT Fletcher?
Really didn't have no choice because I couldn't do the things I used to do.
Right.
And I really had no interest in trying to do those things anymore. I got sons and grandsons that come along that are going to do things that even surpass whatever I did. And to me, that's infinitely more important than anything I ever did, is to watch them come along in my footsteps. I get greater joy out of that than any achievement that I may have ever had in that field. But I don't have the desire to try to prove anything to anyone. I walk in competition, I say, which one of you motherfuckers is coming in second? Because all you guys know, CT Fletcher's here, I'm gonna win this shit. I was very confident in my ability because I believed with my whole heart that nobody wanted it worse and nobody worked harder than I did. So it seemed like braggadocio, and it was, but I only was bragging on what I really truly believed that I had done, the amount of work I had put in, the faith I had in myself, the faith in my ability, and I just firmly believed that nobody was going to beat me.
I had the same feelings competing for years, right? That like genetically, as far as the other guys I was competing with in the Highland Games, like the average height's like 6'3", 320. And I'm 6 foot, about 285, 290. And I remember talking to myself and being like, I don't have any control over who shows up that day.
Absolutely.
I don't have any control over who their parents are, or what their skeleton looks like, or what they do. But being outworked is a choice. And like, that's the one I can hold the line on. And so that's where I've always ended up being. It's like, I can outsuffer you.
People, that's what I tell people that are going into competition. I wonder is this guy going to show up? I wonder is that girl going to show up? Don't make a
shit to do with you.
Who shows up?
No, we're not fighting.
No, you are wasting energy, time, worrying about that. You can't control it, and it don't make any.
But think about how stuck people are worried about other people's bullshit, even outside of the gym or anything else. The rest of life I don't have enough, or comparison, or any of this. Now, did your feelings about the importance of lifting change after open heart surgery? Totally different.
Drastically. Yeah, because it was my life. When I talked to the doctor and he said, hey, this is your last competition, you could die. Wonderful. That was my attitude.
Right, yeah.
Bring it on, man.
Going into surgery, you said, that sounds great.
Fantastic. So it was my magnificent obsession, as I like to say. It consumed me 24/7. The only thing that mattered was being the biggest, the baddest, the strongest motherfucker on the planet. That's all that mattered to me. Die a few times, flatline a few times, all that out the window. I'm just, I go from king of the bees to man. I don't even want to be noticed. You know, just, you know, hey, CT, you did, no, man, I cannot tell you how meaningless, how worthless I am. I'm less than nothing. It's no, before, now, man, I'm a little tiny infinitesimal particle flapping in the wind, no control over anything. I don't call no shots. I don't do shit. And I don't want to, man. No. But, you know, there was a time. So, yeah, it had a dramatic change on my perspective on what's important and what's not important. Opening my fucking eyes up in the morning is super important. Hugging my grandkids, my kids, my wife, super important. Not to be in the bad, the fucking beast of the valley, you know, that had that time. I've been through that, but now it's just, if I hear somebody say, you know, because they heard my story, something in my story they can relate to, some guy in Germany or Russia or Slovakia says, hey, I heard your story and it changed me, shit, that kicks the shit out of any world title.
It does.
Man. Oh, it
100%
kicks it to pieces.
Yeah. I feel the same way about it. I feel the same way about it. Yeah, man, incredible how the volume changed on all that. You know, even for me, like even managing competition anxiety, one of the things I did to just cool it down was remind myself of none of this matters.
Yeah.
Like how far I throw today isn't going to make the record books of the planet.
Yeah.
So just do your fucking job.
Yeah,
It's the thing you love. Don't worry about anyone else. Do your thing.
Hell yeah.
You know, and that, so would you say that like shift to taking notice of the abundance that you already have in your life came post heart attack?
Yes.
Or not heart attack, but yeah.
Transplant. And, yes. You know, I thought I had it completely. The transplant, having to have a heart transplant in 18, having a heart attack at 17, but having this heart transplant kicked it to another level.
Well, I mean, there's no way to pretend you're not on borrowed time. You have someone else's time.
Yes, absolutely.
Literally their ticker, the fucking watch, man.
Absolutely. And people, you know, I say I'm living on borrowed time because I borrowed it from this lady who was not able to live out the rest of her life. I see her all the time. I see her talking to her husband saying, hey, baby, you know, I'll see you when we get home from work this evening. I see her talking to her daughter saying, hey, baby, you know, we're going to go out to dinner this weekend. I see her making plans all the fucking time. And she didn't get a chance to finish those plans.
These are dreams you have?
Yeah, man. I talk to her. If I'm having a struggle, some kind of physical struggle, or I can't quite, some days are better than others.
Sure.
You know, when you're taking 12 different medications still to this day, the medication side effects alone are motherfuckers.
Well, you're taking stuff for side effects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how crazy that is?
Well, we got to give you this medication. You know, takes the side effects of that.
Well, there's some gnarly shit you've got to take just with transplant anyway, right? Like to make sure the heart takes.
Yep. The anti-rejection medications are the worst. And so you're taking this stuff, and hey, today's a bad day. I talk to her, say, hey, lady, I need some help. I need your help today, lady. You know, this is your heart. I'm gonna do everything I can to possibly can to take care of it. You know, like you would have took care of it. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna show you that I appreciate it, but I need some help. So come on, lady, help me out today, man. I'm trying to get up. Just help me get up. You know, so
I love that, man. I think there's a lot to be said for any of us who take on the responsibility of being the steward for this machine you have.
Absolutely.
You know, it's all you've got. Yeah. And most people, unless you've had a major injury or a shift, like you don't get it.
Yeah, no.
That like
the appreciation.
You know, for me, the big switch happened at the end of 2016. My knee was kind of bad, and I decided to have knee surgery to take a year off, rehab, and get back to competing. And ended up having some complications from it, and so had 9 surgeries in like 3 years, and finished with a total knee replacement, and like never compete again.
Yeah.
And so the last time I competed, I took second in the world. Like there wasn't any, I'm done, I'm retiring. It's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was really hard because this knows how to throw. This knows how to do all this stuff. This isn't hurt.
Right.
This just doesn't work anymore.
Woo-hoo. Tell them again.
And what a crazy feeling that was for the first time to be, oh shit, this thing's going to go away at some point.
Yep.
And that I scared the hell out of me.
Oh, it's a motherfucker. I remember shortly after, I'm Mr. Nothing can get me down. Steve motherfucker said, I don't care what happens. That's my philosophy. That's what I preach. And I'm in the hospital and I survived the surgery and I'm thinking to myself, hey, my mind is saying, we're going to come back. We're going to show all these fuckers that, I can still do this, man, up to get decent shape. And 2 weeks after surgery, I said, I see this parking lot. I said, my old lady, I told her, come on out here. I want you to film me. I'm going to sprint across this fucking parking lot. This was all for it, man. Yeah. You can do it. You can do my mind. You can do it. You can do it, CD. Come on, show. I got 3 steps in. I knew I fucked up. 3 steps in, and I knew I fucked up. I said, uh-oh. My mind was ready, but this said, fuck that.
Oh, no.
You just had a heart transplant. Sit your ass down.
No shit,
I went,
right?
right on my face, man.
Oh, man. I hope that video did great.
Oh, yeah, it did fantastic, man. I got a whole lot of views off of that shit. People love to see you fall, man.
Sure, man.
So I fell down.
Fuck, though. What a crazy thing it is, feeling that disconnect, especially as an athlete.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden the machine doesn't work anymore. It doesn't take orders. It doesn't do stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, from now on, like for me, it was this realization of like, I know that'll come to an end again.
Yeah.
And I don't know when, but until then, I'll be as healthy as possible. Try to take care of it the best I can, manage it, and then work on this.
Yep. Do everything if I can. I cannot do anything like I used to do, but that's not gonna make me lay down and quit.
Did you ever feel like almost a responsibility to have to maintain a thing?
Yeah, because
the identity.
That, yes, and that's like I said, as Steve motherfucking said, is my philosophy, is my way. I choose my way. It's just no matter what the circumstance, how hard it gets, whatever, you still fucking get out there and give it your best. And that's me.
Yeah.
So if that's my motto, that's my theme song, then that's the way I live. That's what I stand for. I got to get out there and keep swinging, man. I may not be hitting no home run, but I want to get on base. I'm trying to get on base, man. So
at least stay in the game.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. If I stay in the game, people are social media is brutal. People are going to tell you the truth, and they're like,
well, look, the truth is fucking weird.
Yeah.
The people want to. We're such an interesting creature, right? That like it's very obvious that we immediately will fixate on negative instead of positive. It's evolutionary. I don't know if that kept us alive for a long point because. Pay shit attention is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Makes you feel a certain way. And so with, the switch to social media and like the volume of that comes through, we've also now taught people that if you'd like to get my attention, being polite won't do it.
Yeah.
But if you're shitty, you get my attention. It may not be the attention you want. And I think that's spread to the point of like that's what our news channels do is they're playing shit that aggravates people because they stay longer engaged and people who are engaged are watching advertising and that's where the fucking money comes in. It's not information.
Yeah.
It's selling enragement.
I think you're on to something big time there. You can have 20 great comments and number 21 is, I hope you die. Damn, the other 20 good ones, you're going to do, hey, you hope I die. What kind of shit is that?
Some people ought to get used to get hit in the mouth again.
Yeah.
It's fucking rude, right? Like, it's an unacceptable thing.
Yeah, man. You're not dead yet. I hope you die. Shit like that. No, I told one guy, says, I hope you die or you're not dead yet. I said, you know what? I'm going to stay alive just long enough just so I can piss you off.
Just to piss you off.
To piss you off, motherfucker. I'm staying alive just for you.
So you're mentioning the woman's heart in your chest.
Yes.
were you able to like do any research to find anything out about her?
I did everything I possibly could. First of all, I wasn't supposed to know.
Sure.
I had one doctor that would come in. I had a team of doctors, but I had one young doctor that would come in every day and ask me, how you doing, Mr. Fletcher? And every day, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And he always had this funny look on his face whenever I'd say, I'm blessed. He'd go, yeah, okay, like, you're not blessed. But he goes, so finally one day he goes, hey, Mr. Fletcher, you think you're doing pretty good, don't you? I say, hey, Doc, I opened my eyes this morning. I think I'm doing wonderful. He goes, well, to be honest with you, you're average. You're just doing average. Okay. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
And he goes, your heart, the heart that you have is just too small.
So that was another question I had about it, right?
Your heart is just too small. You're a man. She was a lady. And as a matter of fact, she's only a couple of years younger than you. So it's an old heart from an old lady. It's too small. So I toned down that I'm blessed up a little. And that was the only time that I was a little woe is me, man.
That's such an interesting thing, because without that doctor providing that information, what the fuck good does that information cause you?
Yeah. Well, the other doctors were pissed off at him.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to tell me. But he told he just couldn't stand the fact that I was,
happy?
Yeah, well, giving credit to
God
and not him.
See, and I don't even look at the saying I'm blessed as God did everything. I just look at this as, man, I woke up, things are fucking great.
That's how he looked at it.
I wasn't sure about that 24 hours ago, so.
Hey, hey, I got the coat. I held the scalpel. What about me, man? I mean, hey, and you doctor, you too wonderful. Hey, I thank you so much for and the nurses, because the nurses are really the ones who take care of you.
Sure. Post-op and everything else.
The nurses are really ones who taking care. And I'm like, hey, doc, I really appreciate everything. But he was doing his best to get me to shift my opinion of why I was blessed or why I was still alive from giving credit to the good Lord to the medical profession. And I see it in the comments all the time when I talk about and saying I'm blessed.
I don't understand why one of them...
The doctor saved your life.
I think it's a really interesting thing that people do along those lines, right? Where me saying I'm very blessed, I'm not saying this is the only reason things are great.
Yeah.
It's not an exclusionary topic, right? Saying that, I'm here with my best friends. And if there's somebody who wasn't there, they're traveling or anything, and gets offended by it, I didn't say all of my fucking best friends.
Hey, what about me, man?
You know what I mean? What a weird thing. Like, I didn't exclude you.
Yeah, no.
What an interesting ego attack for that fucking guy.
Hey, when I say, I'm blessed, man, there was times... Look, Doc, there was times when there was no doctors around. When I'm sitting there talking to my wife, having a conversation, and all of a sudden, I'm flatlined when the doctor in sight. When the ambulance, when the emergency room, I'm at home in my bedroom, I'm flatlined.
Is this post-surgery?
This was right before the transplant.
Okay.
Right before. And flatline right before the transplant. And I said, hey, got flatline again.
So this was waiting for a heart?
Yes, waiting for a heart.
So paramedics came out and revived you?
Yep, that's paramedics, go to the hospital, and the whole deal. No, you know what? I'm sorry. At this time, paramedics and stuff was at the heart attack. But at this time, I was out, I'd say about 2-3 minutes. I'm thinking, it felt like I had been asleep all day.
I'm sure.
It felt like I had been asleep all day. The most peaceful, blissful rest, like I was describing earlier. It was unbelievably peaceful. I woke up laughing. I was laughing because I told my wife, I said, oh, I'm sorry, but I wasn't paying. She was talking, but she was looking at me like,
I'm sure.
She was standing there like, so I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? What's happening? What's your problem? You know what I mean? And she goes, she get talking first. What happened? What happened? And she said, you were gone. I'm like, what? All I knew It was that I felt like I had been asleep for a week. It was just the best, most peaceful. And she said it was only like 3 minutes, but it felt like a long time. Man.
Well, shit, yeah, I bet your idea of, whenever the time comes.
Yeah, and I think
it hasn't been a negative experience at any point.
That's how it's going to be for everybody that, when we pass away, that it's going to be so unbelievably peaceful and wonderful, and whenever we do wake up, and I think we will, whenever we do wake up, it's going to be like it was, 2 minutes, 10 minutes ago. Or 2, 3 minutes, whatever. It's going to be
the same way when we're asleep, right? Like, what was I reading recently? The guy's talking, it's Alan Watts, and he was talking about the idea that, death is just going to sleep and not waking up. And, the only other time that kind of happens is birth, right? Is like, well, we don't remember going to sleep and then we woke up.
Yeah.
And so you don't know what's on the other side of it.
Except peaceful.
Yeah.
Extremely peaceful. I think I can say that with 100% confidence that it was unbelievably peaceful. And that's because I've been over there a few times. I just once, I got a chance to go step over there a few times, and each time, unbelievable peace.
So what now at 63 is your favorite thing to do?
Be around my kids, grandkids, and talking to people and letting them know how incredibly blessed they are. I am. Probably my favorite things to do, but playing with them grandkids is way up there, man. Way up there. First, I never thought I'd have any grandkids.
Sure, right. Like, it's interesting. The older you get, you have to kind of make these concessions with the younger you that said, "I would never do this shit." And you're like, man. Time makes a liar out of all of us.
Oh, big time. Yeah. 19 of them rascals running around.
Holy hell!
Yeah, so it's just great. It's fantastic. Yeah, birthday's June the 8th. I'm going to have them all over and make them watch an old movie on TV with me. That's my idea of having fun.
So looking around the gym.
Yeah.
Is Superman number one?
Yeah.
Forever?
Yeah, Superman is it. It used to be, when I was a kid, it was the Hulk. Incredible Hulk was it, man. He smashing shit.
Get angry and let him have it.
Yeah, madder he got, the stronger he got. Now I feel like that was me.
Sure.
Hey, the stronger I get, the madder I get, the stronger I get. But Superman was it because somebody called me Compton Superman many years ago when I was competing. I'm like, he's from Compton. That's the Compton Superman. And I like that shit. So it's...
Superman's always an interesting of all the heroes.
Yep.
I find his really interesting, and there's a paper I had read on it and kind of talking about the ethos of Superman being slightly different, and that you've got Batman, you've got Spider-Man, you've got the Hulk, and you've got Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker, and Bruce Banner, right? And so all of those people become exceptional when they put on the cape, put on the mask.
Or something happens to transform them into that. But
Superman's exceptional.
Yep.
He puts on a cape and becomes Clark Kent.
Yeah.
That's the disguise.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. And so not only that, Clark Kent isn't confident, doesn't talk to women well, wears glasses. Superman don't need fucking glasses.
Yeah.
See anything.
Yeah.
And so Clark Kent is Superman's opinion of what average people are.
Yeah.
That's how he blends in.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a really fascinating difference between him and all the other characters of.
And as far as I know, well, no, that's not. I'm sorry, that won't work. I was going to say that Superman was born super.
Well, he was.
And Spider-Man had a spider bite. Something happened, but his other superheroes were born super.
Yeah, but at that point, Superman it's a very different.
Yeah, he was the first.
He's from space.
Yeah.
And then, the last thing to wrap up, man, is what does not dead yet mean to you?
Oh, man. To me, not dead yet means that I'm still on a mission. I still have goals that I want to accomplish. There's things I want to accomplish. So as long as I'm not dead yet, still got to keep working, man. Still got to work. Still my motherfucking set. Yep.
I thank you.
All right. Thank you, man.
I appreciate it, CT.
Yeah.